how do we prepare for the AI impact on cybersecurity?
Oh.
Great question.
Oh,
Oh, I love AI. I love it.
me too.
Yeah. So for those of you who have been sleeping under a rock and have not heard of OpenAI.com and
Mhm.
ChatGPT, I don't know where you've been, but you definitely need to go check it out. Yeah, AI is everywhere now. It's the big thing. And I will tell you, we are using it a lot in our own company as well. We love ChatGPT, but that being said, ChatGPT is a generic AI. We are actually taking that and modifying it based on our own training data to help us as we are building new courses, new questions, new student support systems, all sorts of stuff. So we are using AI a lot. But to go to your specific question, AI in terms of cyber defense and cyber attack, yes, it is a threat. It is something we should be worried about. I will tell you, we're just now hearing about it. I should say the world is just now hearing about it here in late
It's
22 and early 23. That being said, I've been looking at malware AI since 2016 at least, when I was up in the DC metro area working for a bunch of different places. So it is something that's been in development for a while. It has just gotten a lot better. That being said, AI can develop malware. AI can also develop defenses, right? And a lot of people are worried about, is that going to take away their jobs? I will tell you, I don't think it's going to. And I'm not just saying that as a guy who sells you certifications to get jobs, right? What we are using AI for is a lot of work that should have been using automation or AI in the past anyway. The difference is between automation and AI is the level of intelligence and the thought-provoking answers that it can actually give you. For instance, if you're studying for a certification right now, and I'll use a great example. I was writing my new Cloud Essentials course, right? One of the things I needed to cover in Cloud Essentials was, what are the four different types of models that we have for deployments? We have PaaS, IaaS, SaaS, and XaaS, which is anything as a service. So platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and anything as a service. Well, the first thing I did was I went into our chat GPT thing. I said, write me a 1,500 word script that covers what these things are, including real world examples. I wrote my prompt and it gave me back a script that was probably an 80% solution of what I would have written anyway. So could I have taken that and just filmed it the way it was? No, you would have thought it sucked, right? It was kind of boring. It wasn't in my voice. It wasn't the way I normally talk. And so it doesn't do it in a training way. So I still had to use my brain to go and rewrite it into the way that made sense based on our curriculum and the way we like to do things. That being said, ChatGPT puts out some really good answers, right? And so it was a good 80% solution to start with. I see AI as a helper for us as technicians and analysts, because honestly, there is no way that you or I can look through every single piece of a Wireshark log for the last 24 hours and find all the bad content. We just can't. There's too much there.
It's
Even if I
limited.
split up that log and said, you take 5 minutes of the day and I'll take 5 minutes, the next person will take 5 minutes, and we did that across 24 hours, it still would be too much for us to do in a 8 hour shift. But by using an AI tool where it can go through and identify and say, this looks suspicious. I think this is bad. Now you look at it, human, and tell me. That's where I think AI is going. Same thing with malware. Yes, it can write new code, it can obfuscate code, it can change code very quickly. But again, if a computer can do that, a computer can detect it too. So you're going to see a lot of talk over the next 12 to 24 months over AI. Specifically, ChatGPT has been really big in the news with GPT-3. GPT-4 is coming out soon. And I can tell you, Microsoft just put another $1 billion into OpenAI as an investment. They really believe in it and they are implementing it into everything they do. Their CEO, Sanjay, has already said every tool that Microsoft puts out in the future will have AI inside of it. So when you're using Word in the next version of Word, you will have ChatGPT in the background checking your spelling and your grammar. It will start recommending paragraphs for you or templates for you to use as you're starting to write things. All of that will be coming as part of AI. And it doesn't mean that we're going to be out of a job. It's going to be an assistance to us. It's going to be able to decrease the number of people that we need necessarily. But even that, in the cybersecurity world, our threat has gotten so big that as we are adding more machines and more devices and more IoT and all that stuff, we're going to need more defense too. And so I see AI as a big helper and I'm not afraid of it. I'm embracing it big time in my own business as well as in just life in general. I find it to be really, really useful. I will tell you, if you're using ChatGPT as you're trying to study for exams, keep in mind it's only been trained on data up through early 21,
2021.
which means if I ask you a question about the latest features in Microsoft Azure as you're studying for AZ900, it's not going to have an answer for you. And Jamar, I know you've been playing with ChatGPT as well as you've been writing your scripts. And I think you've been doing kind
Yeah.
of the same thing. Like, it's your draft and then you're
Yeah,
taking that solution and making it your own voice in the way you wanted to present it and teaching it.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I love AI. Again, I love ChatGPT. When it first came out, it was mind blowing to me. But then what I like to think about is AI has been around since the 40s. Like
Yep.
45, I think is when they first started doing AI. I like to follow this guy. Again, I'm big into investing, and they've been using machine learning and artificial intelligence since the 80s. Like that's how, like if you look at the stock market, a lot of it's built by bots, AI, artificial intelligence. This has been going on behind the scenes and we just never knew it. Now this is our first time being exposed to it and being able to, this is the first time it's available to the masses. We can say that.
Yep.
But it's always been here. And again, like I said, how I personally see it, it's a tool because now we have the resources to, like you said, cut down on the amount of people that we're using on these specific problems, and now we could tackle other problems. Because again, there's an infinite amount of problems to solve in the world. I mean, you'll never run out of problems. And now that you're able to stop again focusing and getting an 80% solution on these problems that you're already doing, now you can put more people with ChatGPT or with another team to tackle another problem, global warming, whatever the problem is, it may be. Again, now we can tackle more problems, and we just have to focus on what we're doing less. Again, and then we don't even see the new jobs that are going to come from this, right? Like I said, back in the day, everyone was afraid when the car came. Right. Oh, what are we going to do with all the, the guys that create the horse buggies or whatever it is? Well, now we have an automobile industry. Now we have CD players. Now we have, brakes, tires, rims, all the accessories that come along with it. But no one ever saw it. No one ever saw social media when they were thinking about a big transistor trying to fit it into a computer. Bill Gates said we only need 5 computers for the entire world. We never saw this explosion. So again, I don't think that it's a thing that will never be replaced because it can get to a point. And now there is a position I think that when it hit the singularity,
Yeah.
it gets to a point where we just can't keep up. But I don't think that personally, and again, I'm a layperson, in the near future is anything to worry about. But it's scary.
Yeah. And the other thing I would say about it is when you think about this AI, right, and how quickly things have been changing, going from, GPT-1 to GPT-2 to GPT-3, they're already ready for GPT-4. They haven't released it yet because they're kind of worried about it, honestly, because it's getting really smart and it can do some weird stuff. And they want to make sure they're doing it in a thoughtful way that doesn't cause more problems, right? But even if we think about it like for malware, right? I look at the code that the AI writes and it's decent code, but it's not good code, right? It's not perfect code. And so anybody who's been a programmer can know that there are a million different ways you can solve a problem with code. And some ways might require 10 lines of code, some might require 100 lines of code. And a crappy programmer will do it in 100 lines of code. A great programmer will do it in 10 lines of code. GPT will probably do it in 50, right? It's kind of not great, but not horrible, and it's workable and it does good, but it's not perfect. And so I see the same problem with it creating malware or defenses where it's going to do good, but it's not going to do perfect. And so we still need somebody to be able to take it and make it perfect or make it better, right? And so I still see there's going to be a lot of benefit for us as humans. And it really is an assistive technology. I almost look at it like glasses. I used to wear glasses for a long, long time before I had laser surgery. And, I couldn't see without my glasses, but, unless I put something like this close. So the glasses help me see far. And I think the AI tools are kind of like that. It's going to be an assistance device to us, but we won't rely on it 100% because then you get to the dystopian sci-fi where the AI decides to take down all of our cars and computers because everything runs on the internet now, right? And I mean,
Exactly.
even if you think
Life
back, I watch a lot
3.0.
of sci-fi stuff, and if you think back to 20 years ago, when I started professionally doing stuff 25 years ago, like the internet and cloud computing, that wasn't a thing, right? I mean, like when I first started, the internet really was like Yahoo was like the place everybody went on the internet. Now, who goes to Yahoo anymore? Who cares, right? I mean, going back to the original question, malware and defense. I think it's going to go that way, and there's nothing going to stop us from getting there. But it still will still be able to defend against it, and as a defender, we'll also program AI to defend against the bad things. So it's we can use it for good and bad.